Sponsored, commercial-free, independent, community-based. Since 1970, KPFT has been in service to the upper Texas Gulf Coast and beyond, ensconced in our 101-year-old front porch out here in the Montrose neighborhood on Lovett Boulevard. That's Love with 2 T's, in between Whitney and Taft, a block south of Westheimer. If you're ever in the neighborhood, come and see what we do here. With your contributions, we've maintained a full-powered FM radio station in the 4th largest city in the United States for almost 5 full decades. It's a miracle. It's preposterous. It's wonderful, and you're part of it. Thank you for tuning in to the Open Journal this morning. I'm Dwayne Bradley.
I'm Marlo Blue, and today we are here starting the show off with April Murphy to talk about the BioCity Arts Festival. Welcome, April.
Thank you for having me.
And then I like this because they didn't send us an administrator. They didn't send us a PR person. They sent us an artist. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Festival.
So talk about what your art is all involved.
My art is basically, it's anything whimsical, and it's super saturated colors, very vibrant and bright. They glow in the dark.
Oh, nice.
Glow in the black light. And a little throwback from, and then also it's all about animals. So basically anything that is on 4 legs or 2 legs with wings, I love it and I paint it.
Well, of course, you're the featured artist this year.
Yes, I am, and I'm so grateful. It's been such a wonderful ride. It's like a dream, and I don't want to wake up.
Yeah, so reality's sad compared to that.
How do you become the featured artist? How did that process occur?
Well, okay, so this festival is a really big, well-respected festival, and over 1,000 artists apply for 300 spots. Mm-hmm. And so once those 300 are chosen, out of those 300, the festival committee decides on which artist to pick for their featured artist, and then you get this double booth at the very front of the festival and a lot of special privileges. It's been amazing. I can't believe, I pinch myself every day that it's really happening.
So you're the VIP artist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, thanks for getting up early and coming down here.
Oh, I get up early every morning, so this is great.
How do you get inspired?
Everything inspires me. People ask me, first of all, a big question I get always is, well, so what are your animals, and do they inspire you? And that's true, they do, but it's not just about mine. I can be out running and things just pop in my head, and often I have to run in some convenience store and ask for a little piece of paper and a pencil to write something on a little tiny sheet, and then put it in my running shorts and run home to paint. So.
And what is your medium?
It's acrylics.
Acrylics on canvas?
Mm-hmm. Acrylics on canvas, yeah.
That's just fabulous. And you work large, small?
I do all. I have some pieces that I'll have out at the festival that are as big as 70 by 35, but I'll also have some small pieces that are 8 by 8. So.
A double booth, that's a huge amount of space. Are you prolific?
Yeah, I think everyone who knows my art would say I'm prolific. So I'm a bit manic about how I create art, because it's almost, there is never enough time in the day for me to create what's in my head. So there's no artist block here. So so when I got the call about this, I immediately went into overdrive because I want to make sure that here's this great opportunity, and I want to put all my best stuff out there.
I have a friend who says this about musicians, but I think it applies to artists too, that you just can't help yourself. There's nothing else that you can do. If you need to paint, you have to paint.
That's right, yeah.
And, what about the BioCity Arts Festival?
Well, it's, like I said, it's one of the very well-respected festivals around the country, and, probably in the top 20 or so. And so it's very competitive. And so because of that, you'll find a wide array of amazing artists out there. So, I'm just honored to be one of them, much less the featured artist. I think I've gone to it many years, and the quality of art is great there. So.
Do you do other festivals in the circuit? Or?
I do some. I also do veterinary conferences because I'm an animal artist, and I love to.
What a great idea!
Yeah, it's right in my wheelhouse. And here are all these people who are animal lovers already. So, so now you're starting to see a lot of my artwork on veterinary and clinics, and it's great because my colors are happy and cheerful. And when you're at a clinic and you've got an animal in distress, there's nothing better better than having, a happy surrounding. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And what can I say?
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to do what it is you're doing, and where are you from?
I'm I'm a native Texan. I went to junior high and high school here, so I consider myself a native Houstonian.
What high school?
North Shore High School.
Okay, there you go. Nice.
Yeah, and as far as how I got to here, it's kind of I think is an interesting story because I had a corporate marketing graphic design job until 7 years ago, and I got laid off. And so when I got laid off, I had to take a moment and had a little pity party of about 15 minutes. And then I thought, I just need to take a little time and just go have some fun. So I went to Texas Art Supply, got some canvases, and came home and started painting a few things. And when they started to kind of stack up, I went over to the Starbucks across from my house and asked them if I could hang some stuff up on the walls. And the guy was like, yeah, sure, take the whole wall, consider it your gallery, And so I did that, and I started selling paintings immediately. And then I thought, well, okay, I'll look for a graphic design job, and I'll do this on the weekend. But the truth was, I kept selling so much work that I just never looked for another job. And then, a couple years later, looking back, I'm like, oh, my goodness, I'm so glad I came to this finally, because this is absolutely what I am meant to do.
Well, yeah, and you're doing it creatively, not only being creative, but you're figuring out ways to make money. And I know that so many artists go, pity party, as you say. I just want to be an artist, but I have to be a bookkeeper, or I have to work at the 7-Eleven. And kudos to you. How would you encourage others to take that leap of faith?
Well, it's super hard work, I will say that, and it is a business. So, I mean, if you want it to be a full-time job, it's definitely a business. So you've got to cover all bases. You've got all the marketing. You've got all the graphic design elements, all the visual stuff that's not just painting, but about getting the word out. And so that maybe is not for everybody, but for me, because I had a graphic design background, it worked great. And I love that part of it. But I would say to anyone who's really wanting to break in, it's 24/7, this kind of job. But it's okay, because if you love what you do and it's a passion, it's not really work, I mean, you're tired a lot, but it's not really work.
How do you balance the creative aspect of what you do with the practical reality of being a business owner and like maintaining inventory and database?
Yeah, exactly. I do have a database of all my artwork, and, I do some spreadsheet stuff, and it's not very artistic, but I actually like that part of it too, but as far as how to balance it, there are times when I feel like being super creative. And so at Winter Street, where I have my studio, I often will walk on the bike path there and spend all day painting and then walk home. And I'll do that a couple days of the week. And then there are probably other days where I sit in my office at home and do the practical aspects of it.
Yeah, I mean, being an artist is really a very solitary sort of practice. Do you like being around other artists at Winter Studio?
I do. Winter Street was a real turning point for me. I mean, when you get a studio space somewhere and you're paying rent, it legitimizes what you do, and it also puts a better light on your career. Like, people, you have a studio, and then you don't bring someone to your home
you're
anymore.
The real thing.
Yeah. It does, and then then it puts pressure too, which makes me work harder because I have this nice rent that I have to pay. But being surrounded by other artists, it's amazing. I mean, I get so much inspiration from my fellow studio mates as well. We all have different disciplines. We have different styles and different mediums, and yet there is all kinds of things that come from that,
Well, and wasn't Winter Street also sort of catching some of the overflow? I went to the closing party for Photo Fest the other night, and it sort of blended into things happening all throughout Winter Street. And so a lot of galleries were open, a lot of studios were open.
Right.
That Photo Fest was just like awesome and brought in so much.
Yeah, it's a happening place over there. John Deal is the owner of all those. He's Winter Street, Silver Street, Spring Street, and the Silos. And in the next few years, it's going to be amazing. There's so many things that are about to happen, and that it's going to be a destination. People are going to be coming from other places to hang out for days there, because they're I mean, I don't know all the things that are going to happen. I'm in on a few things, and I'm already like, okay, I am never leaving this place.
So, April Murphy, give us some of the specifics as to Bayou City Art Festival this weekend. It's the one in the park.
That's right. It's at Memorial Park. It's on Friday. It opens at 11 a.m. and it goes till 6. And on Saturday, it's open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. There is no parking per se right at the festival, but there are shuttles. They also have this thing where if you're a first-time Uber driver, you can get that drive free. So lots of ways to get there. And then there'll be all kinds of music and food and creative experiences that you can go in and create something.
Also bicycle in.
Yes.
And there will be bike guardians there.
Yeah.
And of course, you are prominently displayed on the the front page of the website, which is artcolonyassociation.org. And you're doing just the cutest stuff. There's going to be a children's zone again this year,
there will
as
be
well
a children's zone too.
as food. And they used to have transportation that would come in bus cycles.
Right. They have a shuttle that goes from, I think it's where the old Northwest Mall,
right?
To the festival. So
So if you're interested in going for this 45th anniversary, can you believe it's about like
They're chasing KPFT.
Well, I guess they had the same sort of roots as far as that goes. You can always go to artcolonyassociation.org. That's the website for them, where they have
and
all
we'll post
the
it at
great
kpft.org. And also there's aprilmurphy.com.
That's right. If you want to see some of my art.
It's so pretty. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful, and I think let's hope it's going to be a great weekend for everybody. Thank you, April.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming in. And
thank you for having me.
We're glad you get up early in the morning.
It's 16 past 8. You're tuned to the Mighty 90 KPFT, the Open Journal.